My friends, life is strange. When you're doing nothing, nobody bothers you. But the moment you start growing, the moment you start shining, the moment you decide, I will do something meaningful with my life, people suddenly develop a strange allergy, not to you, but to your success. And guess what? This hate, this jealousy, this negativity, it's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're finally doing something right. So today I want to share a very simple truth with you. Let them hate. Your success will hurt them more. Not because you want to hurt them, but because your growth exposes their excuses. Your discipline exposes their laziness. Your courage exposes their fear. So instead of fighting their hatred, rise above it, grow through it, because the best answer to negativity is not anger, not arguments, but unstoppable progress. Their hate is never really about you. It is a mirror showing them what they lack, what they fear, and what they never had the courage to become. When people see you rise, something uncomfortable wakes up inside them. It reminds them of the dreams they abandoned, the chances they never took, the potential they chose not to use. Your progress becomes a silent question to their soul. If they can do it, why can't you? And instead of answering that question with effort, growth, and discipline, many people answer it with negativity. You must understand something deeply. When someone hates your success, they're not reacting to your achievement, they're reacting to their own insecurity. Your success becomes a spotlight on the parts of themselves they've ignored. You worked hard, they delayed. You took risks, they avoided. You stayed consistent, they gave up early. So your wins feel to them like a personal loss. They feel attacked by something you never intended to attack them with. You might hear comments like, oh, he just got lucky, she thinks she's something now, or let's see how long this lasts. These statements are not analysis, they are confessions. They are people admitting, without realizing it, that your growth scares them. Because deep inside, they know you're doing what they themselves wish they could do. When you grow, you break an unspoken social contract. The contract that says we must all remain the same, so nobody feels left behind. The moment you break that contract, discomfort appears. Instead of celebrating your change, many people want you to stay the version of yourself that made them comfortable, not the version that inspires or challenges them. They want you small because small people don't trigger their insecurities. But the moment you expand, they feel exposed. This is why you must never take hate personally. It's not a judgment of your worth, it's a projection of their wound. The bitterness they throw at you is often the bitterness they feel about their own life. And the most important thing you can do is not shrink yourself to make them feel better. Don't explain yourself, don't argue, don't try to convince anyone that you deserve your success. Just keep moving, keep growing, let your discipline turn into results, and let those results talk on your behalf. Because at the end of the day, their hate says nothing about your character, but it reveals everything about theirs. And the more you rise, the louder their insecurities will become. Just remember, a heart full of peace never hates. A mind truly focused on growth never competes with others. Only those who feel small inside try to make others feel small too. So keep rising, let their insecurities stay their problem. You were not born to carry the weight of other people's fears. You were born to outgrow them. When you start growing, when you finally decide to take your life seriously, something very uncomfortable begins to happen around you. People who were once relaxed suddenly tighten up. Not because you did something wrong, but because your growth quietly exposes the place where they stopped growing. Your improvement becomes a spotlight that shines on the parts of their life they have ignored for years. And people don't like being reminded of the things they could have done, but didn't. When you make progress, you break the silent agreement they had with themselves. I'm fine where I am. Suddenly you're proving, without saying a single word, that more is possible. You show them that discipline is possible, transformation is possible, a better life is possible. And this realization doesn't inspire everyone. Sometimes it threatens them. Because if you can do it, it means they have no excuse for staying stuck. And excuses are the comfort zones people protect the most. Your journey becomes a mirror. And mirrors make people uncomfortable. They see you waking up early while they still struggle to start their day. They see you focusing on improving your career while they complain about their job but do nothing to change it. They see you taking care of your mental and emotional health while they still repeat the same patterns. Your progress makes them confront their stagnation, and instead of confronting it with courage, many confront it with jealousy. It's easier for them to criticize you than improve themselves. It's not that they don't want to grow. Deep inside they do. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants a better life. But wanting and working are two completely different things. And when your actions reveal that truth, some people feel exposed. Your momentum highlights their lack of effort. Your courage highlights their fear. Your evolution highlights their excuses. People get used to a certain version of you, a version that fits into their idea of who you should be. The moment you start breaking those limits, you also break their comfort. You rise and they realize they haven't moved. You stretch yourself and they realize they've been shrinking. You start walking towards your purpose and they realize they've been walking in circles. Instead of asking, how can I grow too? Many people ask, why are you changing? Instead of learning from you, they try to pull you back. Instead of feeling motivated, they feel threatened. This is why many people become distant, cold, or even negative when you start improving. It's not about you. It's about what your growth forces them to feel about themselves. And the truth is, some people would rather stay in their comfort zone than face the pain of realizing they've wasted time. Your growth disrupts their stability. Your progress disturbs their excuses. Your transformation shakes their fear. But you cannot shrink yourself just to make someone else comfortable. You cannot slow down your journey just to keep others relaxed. You cannot hide your progress to protect someone else's insecurity. If your improvement exposes their comfort zone, that's their opportunity to rise, not your obligation to shrink. Your job is not to make others feel good about staying the same. Your job is to become the best version of yourself. So let them feel whatever they feel. Let them process their discomfort. Let them adjust to the new you, or let them leave. You keep going because every step you take forward gives others only two choices. They either grow with you or they get left behind. When you begin to rise, one of the most dangerous traps in life is the temptation to shrink yourself just to keep others comfortable. Many people lose their potential not because they lack talent, but because they fear making others feel insecure. They dim their lights so nobody feels overshadowed. They hide their gifts so nobody feels small. And they soften their success so nobody feels jealous. But the truth is, the world does not benefit from your smallness. Nobody becomes wiser, happier, or stronger because you pretended to be less than who you are. You must understand something deeply. People who truly love you will never ask you to shrink. Only those who feel threatened by your growth want you to stay the same. They enjoyed the version of you who doubted yourself. They felt safe when you played small. They felt superior when you lacked confidence. But the moment you grow, the moment you discover your voice, your strength, your direction, they start to feel that discomfort. Not because your growth hurts them, but because it forces them to look at themselves honestly. And instead of growing along with you, they might want to dim your shine so they don't have to face their own shadows. But you were not born to be invisible. You were not created to fit inside someone else's comfort zone. You were given potential so you could use it, not bury it under the fear of how others will react. There will always be people who say things like, don't aim too high, don't change too much, don't dream too big. They aren't giving advice. They are projecting limitations. Their words say more about their own fears than about your capability. Your light does not steal anything from anyone. Light doesn't compete, it reveals. When you shine brightly, you remind others that brightness is possible. When you succeed, you show that success is achievable. Your strength is a permission slip for others' strength. Your courage is a spark that ignites courage in someone else. When one person rises, more people rise. That is how growth works. But if you dim your light, what are you teaching the world? That insecurity wins, that fear wins, that jealousy wins, that hiding is safer than becoming. And that is not the legacy you want to leave. There will always be people who misinterpret your confidence as arrogance, who criticize your ambition as selfishness, who call your progress showing off. But understand something, people who are drowning will always feel annoyed by someone who remembers how to swim. Their comments are not instructions, They are emotional reactions. And you cannot build your life around the emotional reactions of people who don't even understand themselves. Shinin. Be bright is not arrogance. It is responsibility. If a tree grows tall, it does not apologize to the shorter trees. Its height doesn't insult anyone. It simply reflects what's possible when something grows without restriction. In the same way, you have every right to expand as far as your potential allows. Don't hide your wisdom because others feel insecure. Don't hide your achievements because others feel jealous. Don't hide your dreams because others think they are impossible. Don't hide your progress because others are stagnant. And don't hide your light because others are afraid of their darkness. Keep shining, keep growing, keep rising. Because the people who truly belong in your life will never be blinded by your light. They will be inspired by it. And the ones who walk away because you grew too much were never meant to stay in the first place. You were not born to fit in. You were born to stand out. So shine boldly. Shine unapologetically. Shine until shrinking becomes impossible. One of the biggest lessons you will ever learn in life is this. Your energy is too precious to waste on chasing people's opinions. Most people spend their entire life trying to impress others who are not even paying attention. They worry about what people might say, what people might think, how people might judge. And in that worry, they sacrifice their peace, their authenticity, and their potential. The truth is, the world will always have something to say, whether you are doing nothing, doing little, or doing a lot. So why build your life around noise that never stops? Opinions are temporary, emotionally consistent, and often based on incomplete details. Someone will judge you without knowing your story. Someone will criticize you without understanding your struggle or your intention. Someone will assume things about you because it's easier than learning the truth. And you cannot lose such unstable foundations to decide the direction of your life. You must focus on self-improvement because that is the one thing nobody can take away from you. When you build skills, grow your mindset, strengthen your habits, develop your character, these things make you powerful from the inside out. Opinions make you weak because they come from outside. Growth makes you unstoppable because it begins within. People can gossip about you, misunderstand you, or dislike you, but they can never remove the discipline you built, the knowledge you earned, or the progress you achieved. Every time you choose self-improvement over approval, you upgrade your future. Every time you choose growth over worrying about who likes you, you free yourself. Approval traps you, improvement transforms you. Imagine how many dreams have died because someone was scared of being judged. Imagine how many voices have stayed silent because someone feared criticism. Imagine how many talents were wasted because someone cared more about opinions than purpose. Don't let that be your story. People's opinions change depending on their mood, their insecurity, their jealousy, their misunderstandings. One day they will praise you. The next day they will question you. And the day after that, they will forget you. You should never give so much power to temporary emotions of temporary people. Live in a way that makes you proud of yourself, not in a way that makes everyone else comfortable. When you focus on improving yourself, something beautiful happens. You stop needing external validation. You begin trusting your abilities, your decisions, your direction. Your confidence comes from effort, not applause. Your identity comes from growth, not gossip. You no longer bend your personality to fit someone else's expectations. You live in alignment, not performance. And here's the truth many people don't realize. The moment you stop caring about opinions, your life becomes lighter. You feel freer, you think more clearly, you make bolder decisions, you take risks, you try new things, you grow faster. Because now, instead of being controlled by fear, you are guided by purpose. Focus on your improvement, not on convincing people to like you. If someone decides to misunderstand you, no amount of explanation will change their mind. If someone is determined to doubt you, no amount of success will satisfy them. And if someone is jealous of your progress, no amount of kindness will make them clap for you. So why waste precious time and emotional energy on people whose opinions do not build your life? Invest that energy in becoming better, wiser, stronger, kinder, more skillful, more focused. Because every bit of effort you put into yourself will pay you back in ways no external approval ever can. And the day will come when people who once judged you will look at your growth and wonder how you did it. Not because you answered their doubts, but because you ignored them. Build your life, not their approval. Build your habits, not their expectations. Build your future, not their opinions. At the end, only one thing stays with you forever: who you became. And that is shaped by your dedication to self-improvement, not by the noise of the crowd. So walk your path confidently, even if you have to walk alone for a while, because one day that path will lead you to a life far greater than anything other people could have imagined for you. Silence is one of the most underrated forms of strength. Most people think power is in speaking, arguing, proving, defending, explaining, but the truth is, power often lives in the ability to stay calm when others expect you to react. When someone criticizes you, attacks you, doubts you, or throws negativity at you, they are not looking for truth. They are looking for a reaction. They want to pull you into their emotional chaos. They want you to respond so they can feel justified, superior, or validated. But silence denies them that satisfaction. Silence shows control. Silence shows maturity. Silence shows that you value your peace more than their approval. Arguing with negative people is like trying to teach a storm how to be gentle. No matter how much logic you use, no matter how kindly you explain, a person who does not want to understand will never understand. When someone has already made up their mind about you, your success, your intentions, your character, your words are wasted. They don't listen to understand, they listen to react. They don't want clarity, they want conflict. And if you respond emotionally, you give them exactly what they want. But when you choose silence, you break the pattern, you protect your energy, you stop feeding the fire, you create distance between your emotions and their drama. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. When you stop reacting, the other person loses control over your mental state. They throw negativity and you remain untouched. They push buttons that stop working. They want to provoke you, but you give them nothing. That's when silence becomes your armor. Silence also allows your actions to speak louder than any argument ever could. You don't need to prove your worth, your consistency will. You don't need to defend your progress, your results will. You don't need to explain why you're changing, your transformation will. People can debate your words, but they can't debate your growth. They can challenge your opinion, but they can't challenge your accomplishments. Silence lets your success become the loudest reply. There is also a deeper wisdom in silence. It protects your inner world. Every reaction you give costs energy. Every unnecessary argument takes a piece of why, our peace. Every emotional outburst steals focus. When you stay silent, you stay centered. Your mind stays clear. You respond from wisdom, not impulse. Silence gives you space to think, to understand, to rise above. It gives you the power to choose your battles instead of being dragged into every one. Many people underestimate you when you are silent. They assume you are weak, afraid, or clueless. Let them. Underestimation is a gift. It allows you to grow without pressure, work without noise, and rise without interruption. People who insult you will eventually realize they were talking to someone who outgrew the need for approval. People who doubted you will watch your success and regret wasting their time judging you. Silence prepares the stage for results to take over. You'll also notice something powerful. Silence exposes people. It reveals their intentions. When you stop arguing, their true nature comes out. You start seeing who genuinely cares and who just wants to win a fight. You see who seeks understanding and who seeks drama. You see who respects your peace and who feeds on conflict. Silence makes everything clearer. And remember this, your peace is not a gift you owe to others. It is a responsibility you owe to yourself. You are not required to respond to every opinion, every insult, every rumor, every judgment. You are not obligated to explain your life to people who don't even try to understand it. Your focus, your future, your mental health. These things matter more than proving a point. So instead of reacting, grow. Instead of arguing, improve. Instead of explaining, work quietly. Instead of defending, let your life become the evidence. Your silence is not emptiness, it is discipline. Your silence is not surrender, it is self-respect. Your silence is not fear, it is power under perfect control. And in the end, that silence will become so loud through why our success that every hater, every critic, every doubter will hear it without you ever saying a word. Silence is one of the greatest superpowers you will ever develop. Not because silence means weakness, but because silence means strength, stability, clarity, and emotional maturity. When people criticize you, question you, doubt you, or spread negativity around you, the natural reaction is to argue, defend, explain, and fight back. But the more you respond, the more you feed their energy. The more you explain, the more you drain yourself. Some people don't want understanding, they want attention, and your silence denies them the emotional reaction they're trying to pull out of you. There is a deep wisdom in staying quiet. Silence does not mean you lost the argument. Silence simply means the argument is not worth your time. When someone insults you, when someone mocks your dreams, when someone laughs at your progress, they are not actually attacking your potential. They are revealing their own limitations. Your silence allows their words to fade into the air without affecting your heart, and that is real victory. There are people who will misunderstand your decisions no matter how detailed your explanation is. There are people who will doubt your dreams even after you show them a clear plan. There are people who will criticize your actions even when you're doing your best. And there are people who will turn your achievements into something negative simply because they don't want to see you rise. Trying to convince such people is like trying to light a candle in a storm. It will always blow out. Silence protects your peace. Silence protects your focus. Silence protects your time. And silence protects your energy. The very energy you need for your growth, your goals, your dreams. Every minute spent arguing with the wrong person is a minute taken away from your purpose. And when you understand this, you naturally choose silence over reaction. You choose progress over proving. You choose elevation over explanation. There is also something incredibly powerful about letting your actions speak instead of your words. When you keep working silently, steadily, consistently, your results begin to shout so loudly that even your haters are forced to listen. Success is the only language that cannot be debated. Results are the only proof that cannot be denied. You don't need to reply to doubters when your life becomes the reply. Silence is not passive, it is disciplined. Silence is not avoidance, it is mastery. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is choosing not to fight battles that don't lead to growth. It is choosing not to open your mouth where your progress should speak. It is choosing not to waste your voice where your destiny needs it more. So do not be afraid of being silent. Be afraid of allowing meaningless noise to distract you from becoming the person you were meant to be. Your silence is not empty. It is full of intention, full of strength, full of future victories. And one day the same people who tried to provoke you will fall silent themselves, not because you argued better, but because you outgrew them so far that they can no longer reach your level. Every time you grow, every time you level up, every time you do something meaningful with your life, jealousy comes as a free gift. It's a strange part of human psychology. The moment someone rises, people around them start comparing themselves, even if they don't want to. And comparison always plants the seed of jealousy. Not because they hate you personally, but because your progress reminds them of the progress they haven't made. Your growth becomes a silent challenge to their comfort zone. And many would rather feel jealous than improve at every stage of your journey. You will notice a pattern. When you had nothing, nobody cared. When you tried and failed, people didn't notice. But the moment you start rising, suddenly everyone has something to say. Jealousy is a natural reaction from those who never thought you would go further than them. It catches them by surprise. It shakes their identity. Some people secretly built their confidence on the belief that they were ahead of you, and your success destroys that illusion. Jealousy often comes disguised as advice, sarcasm, subtle comments, or fake praise. Someone will say, "Don't forget where you came from," not because they care, but because they feel threatened by where you are going. Someone will say, let's see how long this lasts, because they are hoping it doesn't last. Someone will suddenly talk about your flaws, your past, your mistakes, anything that makes them feel better about themselves. Jealousy pushes people to search for reasons to downplay your success so they don't have to admit your effort. It's important to understand that jealousy is not your problem to solve. You are not responsible for someone else's insecurity. If your success makes them uncomfortable, that discomfort is their teacher, not your burden. You don't need to dim your progress to avoid triggering someone's jealousy. You don't need to hide your blessings to protect their emotions. Jealousy is a reflection of how they feel about themselves, not about you. Every new level of your life will introduce you to new levels of jealousy. When you grow emotionally, some people will feel left behind. When you grow financially, some will feel small beside you. When you grow spiritually, some will feel confronted. And when you grow professionally, some will feel threatened. This is part of the journey, not a sign that you are doing something wrong, but a sign that you are finally doing something right. Instead of shrinking, continue building. Instead of arguing, continue rising. Instead of defending, continue improving. Your job is not to reassure insecure people. Your job is to honor your potential. Those who are meant to grow with you will celebrate every step, and those who are not will step aside, often by their own jealousy. That is how life naturally filters people. So don't fear jealousy, expect it, recognize it, understand it, and then walk straight past it. Because jealousy will always follow progress, and the more you evolve, the louder it gets. But no matter how loud jealousy becomes, your growth must be louder. Your discipline must be louder. Your success must be louder. Jealousy is a sign that you are rising beyond the limits others expected for you. And when that happens, don't look back. Keep moving, keep elevating, keep shining. Because jealousy is not a wall, it is a reminder that you are on the right path. Climbing to a place many people only dream of reaching, that protecting your mind from negativity, is one of the most important things you can do if you want to live a successful, peaceful, and fulfilled life. So often, we underestimate just how much influence the people, thoughts, and environments around us have on our mental state. Negativity is contagious. A single pessimistic comment, a critical glance, or a constant naysayer in your life can slowly erode your confidence, distort your perspective, and drain your energy. And the tragedy is that this happens almost imperceptibly, so slowly that by the time you realize it, it has already affected your mindset and decisions. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of positivity, encouragement, and growth, your life will bloom. But if you allow weeds of criticism, jealousy, and toxicity to take root, they will choke out everything good. Protecting your mental space is not about arrogance or ignoring reality. It is about creating the conditions in which you can grow without being pulled down by the unnecessary weight of other people's negativity. It is about deciding that your peace, focus, and progress are more important than someone else's complaints, judgments, or insecurities. Many people allow negativity into their minds because they feel obliged to carry it. They feel they must respond to every criticism, justify every choice, or meet the expectations of everyone around them. But life is not a place to carry the emotional baggage of others. Your mental space is precious. When you allow negativity to enter, it not only affects your mood but also clouds your decision making. It influences how you interact with others, how you approach challenges, and even how you see yourself. Protecting your mind is essentially protecting your ability to think clearly, act decisively, and live authentically. You must also recognize that not all negativity is obvious. Sometimes it comes in subtle forms, passive-aggressive comments, constant comparisons, backhanded compliments, or even the habitual pessimism of people who are close to you. These subtle forms of negativity can slowly shape your self-image, make you doubt your abilities, and convince you that your goals are unrealistic. Protecting your mind means learning to identify these influences and creating boundaries. It means being selective about who and what you allow to shape your thoughts. This is not selfishness, it is self-respect. You are responsible for the quality of your thoughts because your thoughts determine your feelings. your actions, and ultimately your destiny. If you fill your mind with doubt, fear, and criticism, you will produce results that reflect that. But if you surround yourself with positive, supportive, and inspiring influences, you create an environment where growth is inevitable. Protecting your mind is essentially giving yourself permission to thrive. Remember, you cannot control what others think, say, or do, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to let toxic words slip past you, to avoid internalizing criticism, and to focus on the voices that uplift you rather than drag you down. You can choose the people, the conversations, the books, and the media you allow into your mental space. You can choose your inner dialogue, your habits of reflection, and the mental diet that fuels your growth. By actively protecting your mind, you build resilience. You learn to rise above gossip, to stay steady in the face of envy, and to remain calm when others try to pull you into conflict or drama. You discover that peace of mind is not a luxury. It is the foundation of strength, creativity, and clarity. A protected mind can focus on what matters, make better decisions, and sustain effort over the long term, even when challenges appear. The people who are truly successful, fulfilled, and joyful understand this principle intuitively. They do not allow negativity to dictate their emotions, shape their beliefs, or dictate their choices. They are aware of the value of their mental space and guard it fiercely. Protecting your mind is not about isolating yourself from the world. It is about choosing what enters, what stays, and what influences the direction of your life. In the end, your mental space is your sanctuary. Treat it with care. Nourish it with positivity, inspiration, and clarity. Remove the weeds of doubt, criticism, and jealousy. Guard it from toxic influences. Because when your mind is protected, your focus sharpens, your creativity flourishes, your courage grows, and your ability to live a meaningful, successful life multiplies. Protect your mind, and you protect the life you are capable of building. Turning criticism into fuel is one of the most powerful ways to transform obstacles into opportunities. Every time someone doubts you, every time someone underestimates you, every time someone throws a negative comment your way, you are presented with a choice. You can allow it to discourage you, to shake your confidence, and to slow your progress, or you can use it as fuel to propel yourself forward. Criticism, when viewed through the right lens, is not an attack on your worth. It is a signal, a challenge, and an opportunity to grow stronger than before. The first step in transforming criticism into fuel is perspective. When someone criticizes you, it is rarely a reflection of your true potential or abilities. More often than not, it reflects their limitations, their failures, or their inability to understand the full picture. Instead of internalizing their words as truth, see them as information about their mindset, their expectations, or their insecurities. Once you separate the emotion from the message, you can extract what is useful and discard what is harmful. Criticism also has the power to clarify your direction. When someone points out a perceived flaw, a weakness, or a failure, it draws your attention to something you can improve. Instead of reacting defensively, pause, analyze, and ask yourself, is there truth here that I can learn from? Can this push me to be better? The moment you stop seeing criticism as a personal attack and start seeing it as a tool for growth, you gain control over your response and over your trajectory. Beyond perspective, criticism can ignite determination. When someone tells you that you cannot achieve something, that your goals are unrealistic, or that you are not capable, it can awaken a fire within you. This fire is fueled not by anger or revenge, but by clarity of purpose. Every negative word becomes a reminder of what you are working for, what you are capable of, and how committed you are to proving, not them, but yourself right. It becomes motivation to push harder, to work smarter, and to rise higher than anyone expected, including yourself. Criticism also teaches resilience. Life is full of voices, some supportive, some indifferent, some negative. If every critical remark shook you, you would never accomplish anything meaningful. By learning to transform criticism into fuel, You train yourself to remain steady in the face of adversity. You develop mental toughness, emotional stability, and the courage to keep going even when the world doubts you. Every piece of criticism absorbed and converted strengthens your armor, preparing you for even greater challenges ahead. Furthermore, criticism can sharpen your focus. It forces you to evaluate your goals, refine your strategies, and improve your skills. It highlights gaps in your knowledge, areas where you need to practice, and mistakes you may have overlooked. Instead of being a source of discouragement, it becomes a map showing you where to direct your energy and attention. You learn to convert negative energy into a laser-like focus on your objectives, channeling every doubter's word into constructive action. Criticism also teaches humility. When you listen carefully, even harsh words can reveal insights you might not have noticed. They can highlight blind spots, challenge assumptions, and push you to question whether you can do better. By taking what is valuable and discarding what is destructive, you refine your skills without letting ego or defensiveness control your actions. In this way, criticism becomes a mentor, a strict, sometimes unpleasant teacher, but a teacher nonetheless. Most importantly, using criticism as fuel changes your relationship with the world. Instead of fearing judgment, you begin to welcome feedback as a catalyst for growth. Instead of shrinking when others doubt you, you expand. Instead of being passive in the face of negativity, you become active, turning challenges into milestones and obstacles into stepping stones. Your success becomes not only a product of talent and effort, but also a testament to your ability to transform negativity into momentum. The path of life will always bring critics, people who doubt, misunderstand, or underestimate you. You cannot control their words, but you can control your response. By learning to convert criticism into fuel, you gain a limitless resource, the energy to grow, the courage to persevere, and the determination to succeed against all odds. Each critique becomes a spark, and with every spark, you build a fire that cannot be extinguished by doubt, jealousy, or negativity. Ultimately, criticism is not something to fear or avoid. It is an invitation to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. When you embrace it, transform it, and let it fuel your journey, you turn what was intended to hold you back into the very force that propels you forward. It is the alchemy of success, turning every stone thrown at you into a stepping stone toward your dreams.